Hello, welcome. Test. Good. Let's play a prelim with Shimon Nielsen's best deck ever. Okay, I'll keep. Am I the PT winner? I am not. I was relatively close to winning a Dark Ritual, which would be same as winning the PT, prize-wise. Barring the prestige and qualifications. I did cut Grove for Oracle. Part of my motivation was also the fact that I didn't have a waterlogged Grove, so that made me not need to buy it or rent it. I cut the second Billy for a Wall of Roots, same. I cut Noble Hierarch for Springleaf Drum, same. I added this, cutting something. Who knows what. I think the second Sun Cleanser, which I also didn't have, so it was partially motivated by card availability, but also strategic. Okay, it's Eldrazi's. This member was an all-star over the weekend. I feel that I could use more. It is generally unwise to play a large amount of this member in any deck ever, because the first one is excellent, but the other ones cost you half of your life. So, did I manage to qualify again? My friend, I was not playing at the PT. For the mirror, we added Rana Fowl, which is like a super dismember. When Exiled Emrakul, Promised End, Wonyon Ring, and Ancient Steering. So Promised End means that it's probably just the 10 Talisman Tron, the insane list from Marcinek. I did play in a Modern Open, which is a PTQ-like event. I did not qualify for a PT through it. Ajaj, nie można tak. Now, do I want many walls? Or do I keep it or cast a halfling? It feels like spending mana on Nantuko is just good. So I'll do that. Maybe I should do that on the halfling to have 2 power to attack Khan if it minuses, so it cannot minus again. I guess. Wait, is this a saga? I thought we didn't like saga. That is right, I did not like saga for the most part. If you read the title carefully, that might dispel some of your surprise though. Is the Endurance Wincon actually unusable on Modo? Yes, it is unusable. You can't do that. Or rather, like, you
He's a
can do,
phenomenal
like, it's
control
impossible to
player.
loop Bowmasters, it's impossible to loop
Neck-decking
Bosseggios, even more
fail-fish.
so. No time for that. Need something. An Oracle, I finally prefer Oracle to win through ring. Also, yeah. How do you supposedly loop Bosseggio? That's the document that explains it. Second endurance actually wasn't cringe. Second endurance for Vexing Bobble, that was a cyborg swap that was advised by Nielsen himself, so this one is different. Who won the PT? Shame on Nielsen. So Villain did play Karn, which puts my play of bestowing Nantuko into perspective and actually means that it was poor. I would assume that they will have the Stone Brian in their deck, which seems to be the case. I do draw Nadu, which means that it is less of an issue. They can Karn again Buka. Czemu mnie gryziesz nagle? Vexing Bobble is quite decent into Necro or Gorayo. Great point. Thank you for sharing it with us. So this was actually a great draw. Current pluses, he's at 4. So attacking him is valuable. So I'll just make insects instead of walls. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana anyways. So I would like to attack fetch. Yeah. Give away Surveil with, but don't care. I think Surveil seems not important. Attack Carnot. Hamster, hamster. Pass. Have to pay for the pack next turn. I guess as soon as my opponent revealed this, I actually probably should have played a turn 1 Saga, then turn 2 Wall into Halfling, then turn 3 I didn't have Nadu in my hand, so I shouldn't. How long do we think before action is taken against the bird? That is still Bantok, as far as, you know, it's still As far as you might think it's imminent or whatnot, it's still Bant chat. Has Simon top-aided like 5 Pro Tours in a row? Seems like it. Do I like the current format? I enjoy playing good combo decks, so I actually do, I think. Hej, jak poszło w top 8 w Amsterdamie? Nie wygrałem rytuału. The wrong bestow is costly. Well, I did say it was wrong, most likely. Myself. I no longer think so after realizing that I can attack Karn. And I no longer think it was costly. Of course it is, because they have Kozilek's command and they will be able to stone Brian next turn. While killing my Nadu now. But we'll see. Are you going to RC Lille? There is no good connections from Prague to Lille, so I don't even want to qualify. Are you sure? I personally flew to Brussels Zaventem. Zaventem, I think it's called Zaventem Airport. And then I took a bus to Lille, and the connection was pretty good, honestly. So I am going to RC Lille and probably gonna use the same mode of transportation, although we will see. Maybe it's gonna change somehow. Maybe there is gonna be a different option available. Think this way. Lush Portico. The issue is that we cannot escape our fate. Fate being... Well, actually I can escape that if I draw a Nadu or Cord, if I just attack with Nadu and let Karn live. One, two, three, four, five, six. So I should actually do that. No use in attacking Karn node around. That said, chat. I wonder if deck's good or Simon is just broken. I think that like the deck is pretty good. Given its overall win rate and stuff. This is exile, right? Unfortunate. So that seems like death to Stone Brian. No i tak mi potasuje to w sumie na chuje tutaj w ogóle się z tym survelem zajmuję. Winning without Nadu is gonna be hard, and by hard I mean actually impossible. First I'll play Onion Ring. For no reason. The reason is actually to draw the remaining Tron piece and have 4 extra mana, I guess, but... I'm just making fun of my opponent. They do have a Stomping Ground in the deck, but they also have Emrakul, the Promised End, so it is kind of puzzling. Miko Spawn. No dajesz, byku. Stone Brian. Okay, I'll give them the benefit of doubt and I'll scoop to the activation. I could investigate further and see what is the Stomping Ground for, but I think they could beat me with casting no spells other than the current Wishboard if they were smart about it, so that's why I call it a benefit of doubt. Now, looking at my sideboard, we have roughly no relevant cards. I'll cut the Onion Rings and I'll bring Tefaris so that I'm able to bounce potential artifacts that card might place onto the battlefield. Besides that, we just want to go fast and my cards are about going fast already, so we're not gonna be changing anything else. Perhaps I do have interest in my Spell Pierce though, I guess I do. Can we make an exception for Nadu Bantok? Why? Let's play a Spell Pierce over a Spring Harnantuko. And let's submit the deck. Keeping the Springleaf Drum. Besides, despite Karn. Could bring in Drake as a free power creature to fly and attack Karn because my deck seems a little bit soft to Karn. That is true. A hand like this doesn't have blue mana, so I think that disqualifies it. A hand like this, I guess, is gonna be kept. I'll play Sagster into Springleaf Drum. Into a green top land, into win game on turn 3. Ugin's Labyrinth. Let's go. Turn 2 Stone Brian. Kurwa, no faktycznie ma, ja pierdolę. Co za typ. No to chuj, przegraliśmy. Can't even play my Safekeeper to make a construct on the next turn. Which is a huge issue. Nadu meme deck. Can't even win with through one extraction effect. Well put. Granted, this build is, I think, just ignoring that. Not that you can do too much about Stone Brain, turn 1. For the most part you can race it, I guess you can might it. But like, ignoring the attempt to winning through it, which sounds fair. Shadow Spear, that is not in my deck. I don't think that's gonna beat my opponent's Throne deck. Kurwa, kliknij mi tą złapę, no. Is bestowing onto a construct viable? It is a line of play we could take, but this saga is gone before it's gonna make any constructs. So it is not viable right now. Let's get the might. And we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 mana. So I can't even chord ever for more than 0. So I'll fetch. It doesn't matter, chat. We lost, so we can pretend to think, but I will not think. Could hit the Talisman of Impulse. That is largely irrelevant for the most part, so I will not do that. I will keep my might to put pressure onto my opponent. Erase this Emrakul, the Promised End. But it's passing the turn, meaning that they will make many Scions, draw a card and play a big card next turn, so we could already concede. Did I have a fun time in Amsterdam? Yes, I did. Thank you for asking. It's technically kind of free to draw this. Gonna court for Cringe Billy or for Nantuko. They make Scions, which means that they have spells in their hand, which is Wrath. Let's go with the Billy. And save my monsters. We need everybody, every pair of hands on deck to construct those beatdowns. Ugin's Labyrinth into Stone Drain is one of the more frustrating experiences. Arguably, Force of Vigor was left in my sideboard, so... one could say it should have came in. Bro, you're playing Nadu. That's a great point, Mr. Chimba. That does make no experiences I experienced frustrating or annoying. Ever. Because my deck is a 56% win rate deck. I think I can beat Emrakul the Promised End, so I will concede. Holy shit, as a turn 4 Emrakul. I guess they just assembled Throne and they had this, so they just have 10 mana. So it's like turn 4 Ula mode, so that's not that's crazy. They just have Throne, but... seems like... well... if... this was not the first time I have failed to notice Devourer of Destiny entering the revealed card zone before the match starts on Modo. The prompt for that is pretty tiny and doesn't bring much attention to itself, especially if you're not there right as the match starts. So, had we have noticed the Devourer, I think I should have altered my play and I should have went with turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Wall Halfling. I didn't have a Nadu in my hand, so it's like a bit awkward to rush with the Saga, but there is a chance I'll draw a Nadu. Pretty good one, I think. And then, actually, with the way I drew cards, I would have be able to win on turn 3. Instead of losing on turn whichever one it was. What non-Nadu deck could be good for the RCQ season? I think that's a good question. Let's see the results of Pro Tour Modern Horizons 3. So the winner was Simon Nielsen for the 10th time in the top 8. We're playing mostly his list. But it is a Nadu deck, so... not really answering your question, I guess. On the other hand, we have Sam Pardee, who's playing a Nadu deck. With 2 Urza Sagas. In the 4th place, we have Eli Kashish, which is on the same list as Simon. 10-0. Wait, does that count his top 8 matches? No, because he lost. So a 10-0 modern? Holy shit. What do I think competes with Nadu in the best deck category? Looking at the PT win rates, Nadu had a significantly better win rate than every other deck, so I think the most honest answer would be nothing. In 4th place we have Guldukat, who, as he said, didn't play any games, almost just watched my stream to prepare his PD deck, and seems like it worked pretty well for him. He 8-0'd Modern, then he was removed from a tournament. Then I find this pretty misleading. Noama, Voidwalker, Bowmaster, Sorin, 23 lands. There's something absolutely repulsive about the way those Necro Dominance decks are built to me. Because normal decks in Magic the Gathering, they just kind of have like a plan, they do something. They like have something that they are trying to achieve in a game. This just draws cards and throws them away. And trades them. And those are shitty trades. Like Soul Spike is a shitty trade, but you just have cards that draw so much. I guess you don't even have the ring in this list, but the other lists tend to play ring too. You just have a shit ton of draw and like shit ton of pitch cards. You just draw, throw them away. Draw, throw them away. Very ugly. Although I guess I appreciate Sorin plus Soul Spike. That is kind of cute. That is kind of nice. Oh, Sorin plus March. I guess you only, like, you can use your Sorin in your end step, so it's not gonna actually hit your opponent that hard. Kind of crazy how somehow, unless Noama's plan was to extract Nadus, this deck doesn't have sideboard cards against Nadu. Unless he considered piffing Needle 1, but I would think in a build like this, Dumping Matrix would be a really nice angle, right? Can beat a Boseiju. Well, introducing more Boseiju targets probably helps, right? If you just leave out Boseiju, their deck never gets a draw engine going. What if they play a second one? Or Bobble turns off their Soul Spikes. I think you can beat Misha's Bobble. Even Vexing Bobble sounds beatable. Jason Yee. This list I have trouble grasping. Because the vibe from it is that, like, it's mostly because of the 2 halfling free grazer thing, but it's the vibe is that if you had your Nadu box in your hand, you tripped over, it would fall on the floor and the cards would just go in all directions, then you just pick them up and you register that. You register the 60 that you picked up. And like your sideboard mixes with your main deck, you have Stormdrake and Magistrate there. Just 2 Endurance. It's like a Venser from your cube that you don't even know how it got there. I don't understand the Swan Song, neither did I. I almost net decked them, but then Lizark asked me in a hotel room, why do you want to play the Swan Song? And I just couldn't. mastery ward. And I just realized that it's fair and I shouldn't play this one song if I don't know why I would want to play it. And like triple consign, I did just lose to Stonebrain. You can counter a Stonebrain activation. You can counter a Karn with this. But then it's like a 4 Saga deck, but only 3 Shuko deck. That rubs me the wrong way. Like the Venser is actually a win con. It's like you're looping Venser. With Nantuko, you bounce everything your opponent has, and you can bounce anything they'll ever put on the stack for the foreseeable future. So this is a win con. That's why it's here. I wonder how the rings were for the handshake guys. Because honestly, they conceptually don't make much sense to me. Then like one ring and this. If you play 4 sagas, you build your deck as a combo deck, so then you have the one ring as a fog and draw 3. Which I guess is a fine effect. It's probably like still like I guess if you don't play Black, that's the best card you have against Jeskai. Okay, that's probably what it is. Then we have the Dominguez deck, which is also slightly revolting to me, similar in a similar way that the Necro Dominance deck is. It's all about pitching. Just draw cards and throw them away and just trade in whatever way. As the game plan. Play a ring, trade in whatever way. 3 for 1 yourself, don't care. Pitch force, don't care. Play ring, win with flash. Playing 2 lands, 2 Lorien sounds a bit low. You do have the surveillance every time now, so. It is a bit low. Free tune the narrative. It is a bit low, yeah. Seems like the deck, like, no, but it's 24 lands. It's okay. Seems like the deck folds if it doesn't hit the land drop number. 3 or even 4 on time. No arena is interesting. It felt pretty good to me. Well, I think a mountain seems pretty incredibly taxing in this deck as it is. Oh no, Jendrik is on the play and he's gonna play his blue-black tempo deck, so I stand no chance. How is Amulet positioned in the new meta? It's mostly not positioned. I'll play Boseju because Yendrek never plays artifacts or enchantments. Just always plays instants and sorceries, so it's useless to keep it up. No jest żabka. Does my deck have a Hallowed Fountain? It actually does. Should I fetch a Hallowed Fountain? No, that's a different question. No, I think I should just get a Breeding Pool. There's no white cards in my deck anyways. It's the Outrider. So I'll use Windswept Heath for Breeding Pool and then this for Lush Portico or Temple Garden. And this is gonna be better with my cord. So what did I say? I said Breeding Pool. I guess this could be a Dryad Arbor if this fetches Hallowed Fountain. It still could be. Now a good question would be, do I block the frog? I think the answer is yes. Should you keep buying Nadus? We already have 20. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, you should. Ha ha ha. Okay, at this point the Endreg is holding up a counterspell and I can't win. His deck also features Spell Snare, so I might just be better off playing in Nadu. Let's keep 2 mana. Kurwa, no nie wiem, no. Chord for Halfling EOT. How? Have 2 lands in play. Chord for Halfling, yeah. Sounds good. Simon Nash use Surgical Nadu. Well, you can't. Shuka and Nantuko. I don't know. Well, depends on the game. Can chord for Halfling EOT if Nantuko is unanswered. I think there's not a question that like it's unanswered Nantuko. Okay, sure. Unanswered Nantuko, let's go. This is gonna be a spell snare as soon as Yendrek stops whatever he's doing to get back to the game. Alright, spinning a counterspell is good because that means I can play Nadu next turn. Hello Piotr, how did Secret Lair Showdown go on Sunday? I lost. I did not win a Dark Ritual. You sell a Merktide yet? No. Do you want it? Anyone in the chat wants to buy a promotional, super expensive for no reason Merktide Regent? See, nobody actually wants that. If I play Outrider Encore, what's gonna happen? It's gonna get ignored. And then Nadu is gonna get countered. I'll play Nadu just on the off chance that there is not a second counterspell or a Drown the Cock or anything in a similar vein. The Merktide is not $3,000. My offer is merely $2,400 $400. See, now that sounds like a steal, right? So Jandrek discarded a Merktide Regent, which I think suggests to us that he has a Merktide Regent in his hands. I'm glad this is not a waterlogged grove. Vendor on side was giving 2.5k for it. Chyba kurwa tobie dawał. Chyba złotych. Kolego. It's just impossible to through. You mean beat? It is impossible to beat the frog, yeah. Is Yannick still on Tamio? You cut them for the PT. I think saying that he's still on them is a miss. Is putting it wrong because Jędrek, you can say he's still on that, but he is on he discard the spell pierce. In that case there is no point, I can't win. But Jędrek was playing Tamio yesterday, yeah. Well of Summer seems like a valuable card against him. Spell Pierce perhaps too. Terefari. I think Ring just is kind of bad by being expensive, even if it's a valuable card. Have lands that go away. I think he's playing Bowmasters too. Sounders packed really bad against so much counter magic. I could Stormdrake. Could Vexing Bubble, there's subtleties. Haywire Might is pretty blank. Sergio is pretty blank. Just 24 lands, so that's a bit low, but I feel like I need to draw a good spell density too to compete. Dismembering the frog is not the best plan. Wall is a pretty passive card. It helps with chord, but it doesn't really do much else. Doesn't block the frog particularly well. Doesn't block Tamio. Doesn't deal damage. Just keep 2. It helps with Val. Drawing multiple Shukos is like drawing a blank too. So I'll swap 1 for the bubble. Probably Saga is gonna be present in games I win. I'll keep the packs to be able to combo off a bit more, but ay kurwa, those hands. I think it's worth a shot. I will not play turn 1 halfling. Maybe I will actually. I don't think I will. Why keep packed? What cut if not packed? Ring seems not good. So like basically I would want to be able to have a Nadu in my hands once I resolve the ferry. That's what I think. That was my reasoning. I guess I should put Ranafal into my deck, that is true. No i chuj. We died. Yeah, Ranafal is a good one to bring. This member I have no interest in though. But Ranafal can even get the frog, can get Tamiyayo, can kill Merctide Regent. All sounds valuable. Chat seems like meta has adapted overnight. Simon Nielsen's deck was good for that one weekend, but it no longer holds a candle. Whoa, I can't spell the graveyard. I guess I have the halfling, but I'll play a wall. I get it counterspelled. I'll die. Let's continue looking at the deck lists from the PT. Mm, And yet another deck in the 8th place, seems like a lot of them. Mono Black Necro by Seth Manfield at 6-4. Great result. Featuring 2 shambling guests. Hadn't expected those cards in my modern deck. I guess they will never actually end up in my modern deck, but just a modern deck. When Shambling Gas dies, choose one. Brave the Stench or Search the Body. So we have Jolred, Grief, Bowmeisters, and then we have 4 rings for Necrodominance. Play 14 fake lands, 2 awakenings, 4 rebirths, 4 trollers, 4 fail the profanes. Wow. The flares, Inquisition over Fotsis, the honestly like a nice call. 25% of the meta had no 4-cost cards in their deck. Well, I guess they did, but just 2. How many Flare of Daniel in the other deck? Not a single one. That's crazy. Four Soulless Jailer, holy shit. 4. And again, not really like a sideboard card for Nadu. Like not a single sideboard card for Nadu in neither of those mono black decks. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not counting the needles. The needles, they're not that. It's kind of like no shit that did one. Black Force, Force of Despair. I I guess. Harder to play Dumping Matrix in your D1 ring deck, but now I kind of wonder about Stonebrain in random decks. Necromancia. Necromancia Gigabyte as well. Stonebrain, pretty expensive. But I think this shouldn't struggle at all to beat Nadu with no Nadu. I mean, of course, you always think that then like your deck actually struggles because you're down a card and down much mana, but just seems like a deck that's built by someone thinking, yeah, Nadu, no big deal, I'll Inquisition them, it's fine. Esper Goraios by Matt Sperling. 2 Psychic Frog. Psychic Frog pretty base in this deck. Oh. Only 2 MH free cards in the deck. That's crazy. And rafts in the sideboard. And this in the sideboard. No buried alive, I guess. Mr. Spelling deemed it not worthwhile. Holy shit, Psychic Frog as a follow-up to Grief Scam. Can never beat that. No one can ever beat that. This looks really good, actually. Kind of surprised that there is only 2 frogs. Like, my intuition would be to just run 4 frog, 2 Tainted Indulgence, or 4 frog and not play Phalagi Archaeologist. But for Archaeologist, you could make the argument that it's vital for your stupid little Ephemerate. I don't get how Matt went 10-0. Might be a skill issue. Or fortune. Probably combination of both. But yeah, my intuition will be to play 4 Frogsters in there. Interesting that this deck is not doing that. Because it's just a grindy monster that's really good. That's also just an enabler for the normal things that this deck wants to do. And it's also a blue-black card, which is the best. Tainted Indulgence is 2 mana, do nothing. Mark Stanton. I think Mark Stanton claimed to be a Twitch chatter. Talked with him a little bit. He said that this deck was the best. I guess black-white is better for that deck. 4 Solitude. Well, but Tainted Indulgence is just as white as Psychic Progress, which is, it's not. This is just Canister stream day before submission. 9:01. Nice list, bro. Nine one Bora Sarioglu. This person is even named Bora, like Boros, so no wonder they just stayed true to that. 4 Ocelot Brides. You don't get Ocelot Bride, but like, is it, what is it good at? What's the deal of that card? Say 1/1, and if it attacks, it makes a 1/1. Or if you have Guide of Souls, it also makes a 1/1.
He's a phenomenal.
How fucked up is it that this deck is literally
Why do you think Storm did so
20 MH free creatures? Not even MH creatures, MH free creatures. And then MH free removal, MH free removal, MH free draw spell. This is literally mono MH free. Plus Bolt, Fable, and Sacred Foundry. And you could argue that Arid Mesa is an MH card too, as is evidenced by this printing. That's crazy. And I guess in the sideboard you've got Harsh Mentor and this Blood Moon. Cool. Do I like the McQueen Sauce's JSK control more than Javier's? I haven't gotten to Sauce's list yet. Why do I think Storm did so poorly? It's because people like Seth Manfield built their sideboard and thought, Nadu? Yeah, I don't even know what to put into my sideboard to help that matchup. Like, Necromantia effects are maybe okay, but still pretty awkward most of the time, and very bad against Vel with actual Necromantia, or just slow or weak to might with Stonebrain. So, like, I'm not sure if they even help all that much. So I just have like 10 sideboard slots that I'll devote to Soulless Jailers. That's what happened. Because he was sure that Soulless Jailer is gonna work against Storm. He wasn't sure what's gonna work against Nadu. So he just decided to go with Fail Push against Nadu and with Jailer against Storm. Hey, tried to find you at MagicCon on Sunday, but looked like you left before the winner was announced. I think I did, yeah. The winner was not me though. So... Okay, but what would have been good versus Nadu in that deck sideboard? Exactly. That's why for Soulless Jailer, that's why Storm doing poorly. How do I know if you weren't there for the announcement? I know I were not there if... I know it didn't happen when I was there, so... I mean... by using logic, I assumed that... You know... Is it Murktide by Alejandro Morales? Holy shit, is that the Spider-Man guy? Singing to Stupid. Free Tami Ios. That's all as far as new cards. So this is the MH2 deck. We call it a boomer deck now. It's 12 MH2 creatures. And 4 MH2 counter spells and unholy heats. Oh, maybe next time MTB Broskis. I did sign some cards, not Nadu's. Mostly playmats, I think, actually. Always up for that if you approach me. Chatters. 8-2, Benny Zioli. Alright, so this person is playing Free Stone Drain, which I think in the Eldrazi deck is really good to have. I actually try to have a pen on me. I'll order like 3 different color pens actually today, and I'll just have a collection every time I go to a tournament. So no worry. So yeah, in Eldrazi's playing Labyrinth for Free Stone Brain sounds like a good plan. Gameson Caverns also helps with that. Because you can just play turn 1 Brain or turn 1 Talisman and then turn 2 Brain. I was saying that CD Cream, I think it stopped happening as much. Which is maybe because I expressed that a few times. But now most people are kind enough to introduce themselves as viewers or whatnot. Thierry Ramboa. Hex Parasite. I wonder how the Hex Parasite went for them. I think it's pretty bad. For the most part. The idea with Hex Parasite is that if you court for 1 or if you get it with Saga, you have a Shuko that's instant speed, so it draws 2 per every creature you have, even if they cast a removal spell on Nadu at first priority pass, but that does cost 2 life to activate, which adds up. You can use Hex Parasite like 4 times realistically in a game. 5. Also removes counters from Saga. Sure. Is that relevant on coverage? Or it was an energy counter. I guess it is an energy counter too. But you need to pay the mana, but you can court for it in response to Storm's Wrath. Wrath of the Skies. But like, if they paid any mana for X, then that doesn't really work. Sounds pretty rough. Also, one thing that I kinda hate about those lists is that you have the Sun Cleanser, you even have 2 of them, which points to Handshake people liking the Sun Cleanser very much as their control tool, anti-control tool, but then alongside Urza's Saga, it's pretty awkward because the Wrath still clears your Sagas, which means that it's kind of possible to use it as a normal card. Kind of rough. Sun Cleanser did a lot of work for Simon. Troll emoji. Yeah, I didn't see that, but I've heard of that. In general, I would be happier if... Like, I don't know, chat. Has any one of you ever seen a clip online of me playing on coverage and then committing mistakes that were advantageous for me? Yeah, sometimes that shit happens. Yes. Wait, when? Hex is only on permanents, not players for energy. See, that's true. Like, I feel like I don't do that personally. I mean, of course, probably like mistakes are the ones that I don't catch and I don't know I made them, but could be because I played an unnaturally large amount of Magic Online and it does spell out every interaction and then I am used to seeing how they look. How am I supposed to see those clips if you're not on the PT? I mean from the past. Would I still build this deck after the PT? Like, are you asking me if you should buy it? You probably shouldn't if you're gonna be sad that your card is gonna be banned and then it's not gonna be legal. Because the actual likelihood of that happening seems very large. You don't play as much anymore, right? Well, I play a shit ton. I stream like hours a day still. Like I have so many mono games with constructed decks, probably much more than an average PT player by a factor of 10. You know, all of the good players at the PT like to talk about how they don't play, they actually think about the game, but then they like don't remember about rings protection. Kind of cringe, right? In some ways. But it's pretty rough. I do wish there were actual ways to hold everyone up to a higher standard. But that's just a thought of how I would want things to be, not that I have a solution to anything. H2, Tomasz Sodomirski on Living End. Only 3 Architects of Will, 1 Stripped Riverwinder. We discussed that with Sodek, but he was unyielding. Why did you end up playing Bang, actually? Bang? I did play Bant in the Modern Open. But it was a list like this, I didn't play Saga. Kind of built it last minute with the Rumbles, and the Rumbles were pretty okay for me. But then I tried to play the Zek post board like Sultai with pushes, and it just doesn't. You just don't have removal to do that, so. Anyway, I got the worst of both worlds, I think. Then I played Sultai again at the Secret Lair Showdowns. I remember back in Worlds 2005 there was a similar thing with Seedborn Muse and Yosei, where the Seedborn player untapped even though Yosei trigger skipped their opponent's untap step. That's fucked up. I don't know what Yosei does, and like, I don't know of that situation, but that's all I can say. So yeah, Sodex's list is almost no MH free cards, but it does have 2 Sink into Stupid. And that's all. Then Bart van Etten went 7-1. Only got to play 8 rounds, interesting. For Urza's Saga. 9 with Affliction, holy fuck. Pros down bad for flash answers. This 7-1 David Gonzalez. I'm gonna call the Promised End, so we probably just played against that, right? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? No, we played against a deck with steerings. This is like Prison Storm, Prison Tron. It's kind of weird. I went 7-1, but playing like a deck, Trinity Sphere doesn't look good at all in Modern. It's not good at all against Nadu. Not really effective against much else. Yeah, 7-1. Good constructed score. 3 Stone Bryans. I respect that. Yeah, Chalice, Trinisphere, they don't hit Nadu. O2, Tigger, Mirror. Hmm. Storm Drain plus Crack turn 2. And Karn turn 2. Holy shit, 6 mana on turn 2? That's so much mana. Hallowed Fountain. Is that a Tamiya? No, this is a Pure then. Turn 1 Saga seems too bad against control. Villain Scry 2 to the bottom. Now I will play the Saga. You don't even have energy, so that's nice. And I'll special summon... Actually no, I'll normal summon Nadu. Winged Wisdom. Then in 2 turns, Shuko is coming, my friend, so... You better get ready for that. Could also court for Safekeeper next turn if that's what I need. I guess I'll be passing mana anyways. Okay. Oh wow, they keep the energy, so I guess a Raph is coming. Seems like the Saga will get indeed punished. Big win for Urza's Saga. Holy shit. Did Javier play Preordens? I don't think so. Yeah, Florin reveals typically like choose one or the other. Plaż. No może tego mitka miałem trzymać, ale kurwa nie wiem. Ja pierdolę, no. They miss a land drop, so they have 4 spells. If they draw a land, they escape Flash and I die. Snapcaster Mage Pure then. If I had 3 lands, I could court for Dryad, if it was a green land. Then play a ring. So, I think arguably... the Saga was game losing here. If I draw a land now, I can play a ring and we can be actually okay. Although my hand is so heavy. I can't really answer Nadu, a Flash. And villain is on 4 spells, 5 spells. Dobra kurwa, koniec graja. I'll sideboard in my Tefaris, my Sun Clencher, my Volatile Storm Drake, because I learned an interaction with it the other day. think I'll cut the drum. I don't want it. Cut the wall for its weakness. Where is Sun Cleanser? It's here. I'll cut his Saga, I think. Don't want to be flooded with them. Thoughts? 10th in the modern super qualifier were work in progress while they let me play the broken cards. In typical fashion, went off the beaten meta path and tried my luck with Nadu Amulet. I've been tinkering and tuning with it for a while and happy so far. Okay. Holy shit, rumbles. Were the cards you swapped out metagame choices for the PT that aren't suited for Modo, or you just straight up don't like them? Yes. That's what they were. I think I'll keep. Like, you can't win on Modo without the Oracle. It's not even mental health, you just don't have time to click through the loops. It takes a few minutes with Oracle to draw your deck still, and just the loops are just not possible. You get the blue one because I have more blue spells than just 2 Tefaris. Of course, I'll see a Sun Cleanser now. Don't mind a 4th land to protect my Nadu from a counter spell. And Surveilling again. I'll play the Mind for Giga Pressure. Magic Online will be taken offline for a weekly maintenance in 4 hours 30 minutes. No, so there is no Pioneer Prelim today? That's fucked up. I wanted to play a Pioneer Prelim, I even rented the cards. I wanted to give it a go, the Tree of Perdition list. Assassin's Creed's release. Oh no, release. Release it all onto me, chat. Can't wait to play Nadu now. And my opponent plays the flip a coin counter spell, and I Vel, and I lose the flip. Kurwa, no zajebiście. Quick open chest before they are contaminated with AC filth. I'll put. No, it's a fun set, chat. It's just not for you. I found Veil of Summer to be pretty bad in general. Pretty hard to deploy when you need it to protect your spells. It just always needs you to wait that extra turn, and then you don't have the mana to do what you want. It's just ends up playing so badly most of the time. True against both this and no super, no, fine, yeah. Played the Shuko earlier because I wanted to be able to play Nadu with Vel, resolve Nadu, get a trigger. But I'm just getting bullied, holy guacamole. It's better against the Necromantia effects. Against Necromantia effects, by which you mean Necromantia. Specifically, not effects. Stonebrain? Anyone getting Stonebrain? Just actually the more popular ones. This seems wasteful. Maybe they really want a wizard for playing Mavanor. Yeah, you get Stonebrain that's on turn 2, sad. Sadly no well. Surprised to see Nadu doing so bad. No, it's just canister, it's not Nadu. Nadu is broken. Kick. Is Jeskai Energy a real deck in a non-Nadu meta? Probably. Didn't I make a Remy Sanctiels in the past? I'm not claiming I haven't. Okay, we're gonna resolve it, but then what? And this also, like, Vel is just so bad. Ja pierdzielę, no. I think unfamiliarity with the extract build and sideboarding cost me a few percentages here and there in this prelim, but I'm going for the full 0-4. I'm not dropping. Can't win anything, but I'm not dropping. But somehow there was like a win rate chart or two. Let me find it. There was like a Frank Carsten win rate chart. And we can see that's day 1 and 2 modern, right? And we can see that where is it? Bant Nadu had like an overall 59% win rate. Ja pierdolę. That's crazy. In 300 matches, 60% win rate. Most popular deck. You could argue that it wasn't like particularly targeted at the PT, but then how do you target a Splinter Twin that's a divination when you kill it instead? Just don't. But at the same time, I just when I play Bant, I just don't vibe with it at all. I just can't play it. 4-color Nadu, 55.8% win rate, so a tad lower. But what surprises me, honestly, is that 4-color Nadu versus Bant Nadu. 15-11? She came out ahead. Two against Storm. 9-2 versus Control. While Bant Nadu is on, well, dead even against Control. It does make sense. But holy shit, that's a big improvement against Control. This is Mono Black Necro. 23-14, 62%. Only 4 matches here. 2-2. Well, I really enjoy Bowmasters in this matchup so far. On a qualitative, not quantitative basis. 4-5 against e-tron. Well, I guess Saga helps you turn free more often, which is valuable against e-tron. This is 4-color Nadu. So behind. X. This is Boros Energy. 4-5, 12-6. This is matches. Alright, so if I disregard the matchups in which 4-color Nadu performed worse, and I just say that it was bad variants, and I'll just continue playing my Bowmasters version, and I'll continue reaping a 82% matchup against Control. And I'll play 2 Run of Owls in the sideboard. That's my plan. Exactly, CCAK. That's just how it is. But it is kind of awkward because like most of the people who I talked with and who were on 4-color on Sultai, and most of the people who just in general like seem to say, oh yeah, Sultai Nadu, I feel better with it against every other deck but the mirror. And then like this reflects it against Control but not anywhere else. And in fact there's like a head win rate in the mirror, which maybe just points to how it doesn't matter in the mirror. Saga Schmaga. But yeah, Bant Nadu, 63%, 50, 62, 58, 42 against 4 colors of mirror. It's only losing matchup against Jessica Wizards at 43%, 6-8, and all of the other ones are ahead. Or close against Control. Living and played very few matches overall, so pretty hard to say if it's impressive. It's not clear to me that Living End is actually all that great. What do you do if your opponent assembles enough mana to court for calling to get a Draniv Magistrate? You just die. There's nothing you can do. So basically, what do you do if your opponent plays a Wall of Roots on the play? You just lose to it. Even worse if you play against one of those weird lists with Malvol and Rumble and they mill over their Nadu. What emerged from Tern Timber was even more twisted than the forest itself. Anyone emerging from Tern Timber? So, like, the meta is interesting. It's also kind of crazy. In some ways it doesn't make sense. 7 free Eldrazi 3 Manic Stone Brains. This man was committed. Honestly. This is actual deck building, and GTO, 4 different talismans, 1 of each. The Trini Spheres in the sideboard, where they belong against Storm or on the play. I really like the list. Derek Davis, good job. Elliot Bousseau. This is the French Hex-Parasite deck list. I appreciate the synergy between Summoner's Pact and Vexing Bubble. It is really something. Something to look forward to. I wonder how many Summoner's Pacts and Court of Callings were cast at the PT with this in play. Do you think it was 0 or more than 0? And how many of them do you think resolved? More than 0? Okay. More than 5 probably resolved. Ooh, that's a lot. Like, PT players at least should try to pay attention to what their villains are doing.
He's a phenomenal control player.
29 months is awesome.
Probably someone corded with only creatures and it resolved. Fair. Presidi, thank you for the sub. Usually when third Saga trigger went on the stack, we packed it. Then we had something that does trigger just getting bubble. Yeah, I guess you can do that. Packed in response to the third. Third trigger. I'll be more worried about the games where you just draw the bubble and you play it and then you kind of forget about it. You just play pure pacts and you don't care, you search anyways. Shuko probably sees the hammer. Please explain your thought. More specifically, the hammer? There are decks that play both Shuko and hammer, right? The hammer decks, right? Pursuit Paladin. Gruul Prowess. Expected a lot of mono black necro and we tested with lists with like 4 flares main deck. Okay, so that's why the X parasites to play around that. Flare is a pretty awkward card when not playing as Nadu though, I think, so it's pretty hard for people to have 4. And it seemed like that's how it played out. Here we've got Jeff Carr on Gruul Prowess with MH free cards. There is a replacement for 0 equipment, but Shuko is the only one that is fetchable with Urza's Saga, right? Yeah. Can use Lightning Reefs. Or you can use X-Parasite, I guess. With your Saga. Julian Henry, Boros Energy. Alright, I'll need a bathroom break before the last round before we can go all four, so I'll see you in a few minutes. Chat, before I forget, I have MTGO playpoint codes to give away. I'm gonna paste one right now into the chat. It's a 120 playpoints code. You enter it into your Magic Online. You go to store and you enter promo code right here and you redeem. So if you claimed it, please say so in the chat. Tolarian Raya, congrats for being a winner. Alright, another one. Prepare yourself. More points. Holy shit, Johnson also gave one. It's actually not even the same code. 2 more codes in the chat. Please grab them and say so. Oh, I'm patching my model, 1 sec. Well, will you raise the other viewers? Bro, I don't have MTGO, then tough luck for you. Seems like you will be raised by Lonely Woostle. Alright, so 7-3, Ocelot Pride, Ragavan, Najani, Nakatlpariach, Martio Carvalho, 4 Sholdred, ooh la la. I played against a blue-black Necro deck that discarded the extra cards to Psychic Prog and the cleanup in the discards. Well, in the end step before cleanup. It's kind of interesting. Like, not that you really needed at that point. One acquisition only, 4 Fotsis. The only list that didn't play Fotsis was the one with rings, right? From CFB, I think. Bant Nadu by Marco Del Pivot. 4 Grazer, free Halfling. Free cards for Pact. Ooh la la. What do I think about Ring in Mono Black Necro? I have not played with or against those decks enough to form a opinion. Having both Necro and Ring seems like a lot of the same effect, but I mean, maybe it's good. Just need to stick one to win, kinda, that's the plan. Hard to say. I mean, I like that this deck doesn't have main deck rings. The main deck rings really just... the fairy seems like a much better main deck card to me. Maybe I don't get something, but it just synergizes, it protects. Interacts with opposing sagas. Actually makes sense. Triple Colony, yeah, that's like the shtick that they are doing with Grazers. So I guess what is nice is that you have 7 1-drops, 7 dorks. Paper Oracle. Also, it does seem like Paper Oracle is just kind of not really necessary after all. Wasted slot. One more code, please. Alright, chat. Let's go. One more 120 play points code. Redeem it fast. And then say I redeemed it in the chat. Congrats, Mr. Yoda Fool. Which cards were identified as cringe? Second Billy, lack of Springleaf Drum, and something else. Also, chat, do you think mono decklists are ever gonna come back? I really hope they do. The world feels cold and empty without them. Just feels not so nice. But it does feel like it is not an issue of... Like, clearly it is not a technological issue. It's just some kind of a weird... I don't know, licensing trouble or whatnot they got themselves into. Official Magic the Gathering Online Discord. 2606, so that's on Friday. For those asking for an update around decklist page, we understand everyone's frustration of not having access to the decklist page. Unfortunately, I do not have anything to update. Once more information is provided, I will send it out. So holy shit, if Maro cracked down on mono decklist, that's just gonna be fucked up. I don't know why he would do that, but that'll be terrifying. I do group my servers. I find it much easier to navigate having just a few folders with the similarly themed ones. Thoughts on the Sanctum lists. I like it philosophically, but then I go check the screenshot you sent on Discord of 2 graders with a fetch and Dryad Arbor. I love Rumble though. Rumble is cool. I'm not sure if it's good. It's pretty cool, and it works well with Shifting Woodland, which I think is really good. But I agree, I think of that screenshot too. First hand with graders in the deck. Of course, thank you, Sanctum. Then I watched the match, won the match immediately, so it's pretty rough, but like, well, that's a bit rough, isn't it? What I don't get is free grader to halfling. That's just a bit unglued to me. But also I have a really, from playing so much Amulet, I have a really large amount of dislike towards Arboreal Grazer as a card in general. I think the card is just really bad. It's very high risk, medium reward. So I don't think of Grazer as a good card in general, and I would do a lot to avoid playing it. I'm also kind of interested about people not playing Blood Moon in this format, because it would seem like a pretty great tool. Like the energy decks are the only ones that have it, that are built to have it. But the Kali Garden list, they would just get fucked by Blood Moon. Like 4 Saga Kali Gardens. Bant and Madsen played Boros with 4 main deck. I can get behind that. How did Benton do? 6-4. And to me, it kind of feels like... Yeah, 4 Blood Moon. Like this seems like a good energy deck, because other lists, they are just 40 midrange cards. You don't need 40 midrange cards to be a great midrange deck. You can play 36 and then spend 4 on just Blood Moon seems so good. What decks are there? 3 color control, 4 Saga Nadu, Eldrazi Tron. Yeah, sounds like a slam dunk. Sounds so easy. And I don't know, it just feels like the format is new and people like optimizing for playing Blood Moon is, I don't know, not the most flashy, not the most fun. People just didn't do that at the beginning of the format. Turn 1 Guide of Souls, turn 2 Raptor into Blood Moon. Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds incredible. Maybe people overestimate the amount of Storm. Fair. But yeah, I love this list. This seems like a strong energy list. With Blood Moon, I would play Ragavan over Ocelot. Seems to make more sense. If I want to grind harder, I would play the Ocelot, but I don't want to grind harder. Much better with Guy, Rajani, and Blood Moons. Well, Ragavan is better with Blood Moon, right? So I'm kind of confused by the PT meta. Did any of you had like any PT players in the chat? Any PT players watching right now? Because before PT, I personally did not have the feeling that Nadu is gonna be like 25% metagame, 60% win rate. I thought it was a very strong deck. I was not sure if it's like the best deck necessarily, even. But I thought that it very well could be. So were you guys sure that Nadu is just the best thing? Because most of the Nadu lists were banned, so like it would seem like they would want to be banned because they wanted to race for the mirror. The opposite direction of what I wanted to be doing. But I guess that is also a feature of how I build my decks in general. I never really want to plan for the mirror, and I never really want to build my deck for the mirror, so I just don't build them for the mirrors. Did you discuss with Nasif? I did not. Maybe that's a good podcast topic if the podcast ever revives itself. But it seems like everyone played a shit ton of Drowned Magistrate, so everyone shut their pants fearing Storm, and Storm couldn't take it. We tested most things. We were 4 with French, and Nadu list looked just so bad that when seeing that Nadu bad list were okayish against the rest, we didn't make long to see that good Nadu lists were good. Holy shit, did I just get roasted? Storm is living end. Yeah, but like they all tied the same hate card, I guess. Both of them. Bernardo Torres 6-4. Feel like we've seen this deck before. Brian Boss, Cruel Prowess. Brian Boss's decks is incredible. 1 Legion Leather Sheep, Scale Up, Monstrous Rage, Blossoming Defense, Assault Strobe. Holy shit. I wonder why there were few living end decks. It feels like a really good meta for living end. Sort of, but every deck has 10 Draniv Magistrates in it. Either it's a Nadu deck with Chords that has 5, or it's a Energy or Jeskai deck which boards in 3, or it's a Nassif's Coffers deck which has 4. But the colorless ones, I don't know if it like really seems so good for living end. I mean, Sodek did fine and all of that, but holy guacamole. I wanted you to win the PT. Well, that would have required me to qualify and play in it. I think Sodek just run HODs. Or just used his skill deficit and over playing 10,000 living end matches, and then he always drew grief into subtlety into living end. One of those. Conor Mulali. It's a fall at Coliseum, nice. Actually not nice, but Carlos Oliveros Guntin. For pacts. It's the 4 grader free halfling. That stuff is crazy. Are there any games amongst the really bad performing decks? Let's take a look. Let's look at the worst decks. 1/6 Mono Black Necro. Giant Creativity. No new cards. I think Stefano Di Fiore just didn't care much. He like has the Terrasodon, Eleshon, Grand Cenobite, just like took his old deck. He was like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not reading the MH3 spoiler. Fuck this shit. Slaughter Clodder Red sink into stupor. And stopped at that. Some Orofl Ruby Storm 1-4. 2 Reprieve, interesting Storm card. I guess classic Remand and Storm. Is there any viable list which does not play MH3 cards? I don't think so. One for mono black Necro Gabna Sieve. 2 Shambling Gas. Okay, so it seems like Shambling Gas worked, but also didn't. Let's 0-4 with Nadu. We ought to win this one. And it's too good. Hey, look. We're playing against Nadu. Wall of Roots instead of Rumble. Wall is broken. I mean, it really doesn't seem so clear to me that Arboreal Grazer plus Cowling Garden would be a better way to achieve what Wall of Roots achieves. Why fetch over Saga? It's so that I can try out Arbor. Have more mana, more creatures. Maybe in an aggro meta. Wait, which one? Grazer better in aggro meta or Wall? I guess both block. Shuko. That's fucked up. Don't want Arbor into court for Bowmasters here. I think I actually do. I think I actively do. Because of Drake, yeah. Which is unlikely to be in my opponent's deck, but what if? Because then I'll go court for Safekeeper, draw 10, 11. I mean, I could also court for... Oh, because, well... So, you could play around Drake by courting for Safekeeper, I guess. And then most likely go off, or you can always go off by getting a Nantuko. But Safekeeper kind of no point, I can just play Nadu. Nadu again will be packed if I get Draked. So I think I would rather do it this way. Seems like villain is not responding, so... Okay. Also chat, good Nadu version, bad Nadu version. Do you think that there is always between two decks in a meta game, you can determine that one is better than the other? Is that always possible? Or is that not always the case? Is it more fluid sometimes? Ah, I didn't tap my Boseju. Not pro gamer move. Not used to double Boseju. Is it possible to have two roughly equal or equal, yet different decks? When a combo deck is so oppressive, versions start popping up to counter the only few things that could beat them. Or just adjust to win the mirror. That doesn't really answer my question. Guess it partially does. It's no saga. It's not. Mine against Shuko. Cut rings and Nantuko, I think. Probably cut Cringe Billy over in Nantuko. It is a Bowmasters deck, but it's like to be boarded out because there is not much else to be boarded out. It's always possible at time frame that's small. What? Nadus with black have their upsides. Yeah. Guess I'll keep. Turn 2. Then can bestow, find Shuko immediately. There is always exactly one correct deck for an event. Holy shit. I'm not fully sure. Does that have to be true? Like, I guess not in the realistic, practical sense. Uh, wall. Wall more like lol. That is not a Shuka. Shuka. You win. No need to see the Nadu. Well, I guess I don't know why I'm making a face like this. They definitely win. So I think I'll play turn 1 Saga. Is that better against Force? Not really. Oh, it's not really. Because can Force just kill my land if I do something like that? Which then actually doesn't put me ahead. Alamo playing Marshmallow still in current year. O, to Hulek. Jesteś tak bolesnym kotem czasami. Can play a tiny bit around Force by holding the Shuko. Doesn't play around Thoughtseize, but Thoughtseize is good against me anyways. For Urza Sagas, 03. Curious, huh? So what I was getting at is that I feel like for me, just that build plays so much better. What is more likely, run a foul or force actually? That's rough. Force would be 2 cards. And villains at 1 card, so they can't do anything to me. Hey man, I'm 1-2, you're all free. Where does that lead? What's the point of Shuko first? Question mark. Run a foul. Versus Force of Vigor. I don't know. Do I get anything for winning except the satisfaction? The prizes for going 1-3 are as follows. Can put it up to chat. Do we collude with Ale Milan 19 and concede? Yes or no? Place your votes. You can use your Carnegie points. I think like a fake 04 is just very it's not an 04. Holy shit, 43 votes on yes. Ale Milan voting in the chat, holy shit. It's to show people that Bant Nadu is shit so they stop playing it. Well, but it's not. It is pretty shit for me, like I can't vibe with it. So this puzzling on a personal level. How do you win this turn? You draw your deck and then you finally weigh. There is a Thassa's Oracle in my Magic Online deck, but in paper you can perform infinite loops with endurance. I played Bant, but Bant no Saga, so kinda halfway there. Nor here, nor here. In the open, it was okay. And I played Sultais for my Merktide. Would my Sultai have done better for me? Hard to say. Impossible to say. Went 4-0 into 3 losses against Amulet, Zoo, where I just died to my ring. Twice? I think. No, once. Ajaj, kurwa, to fulek. No nie trap mnie tak, proszę. Alright. Chat decided to collude. Am I off Legacy because of grief? Well, I never played much Legacy. I don't particularly like Legacy. Blue Reanimator pushed out Black Reanimator, so I would need to find another deck that I like, and I haven't. So I just haven't been playing Legacy. 100 kudos and dogs draft deck went. I went 2-1. Felt pretty solid. Kinda pointless to think about new legacy decks before Grief Bant, TBH. Ulek. Well, what did you say? What's Grief what? Alright, Bantak. Fired. I love how it took so long for legacy players to realize they can play the good blue cards in this Combinator package. Fair. Now they also have Frog, which is a blue-black threat. That's really good in grinding games. Actually, maybe I would like playing the Frog deck in Legacy, but I don't even know how it looks. But I assume they just play 4 Frogs and Force of Will and Greaves and just pitches to both. Sounds really good. Like, what? How do you stop the Frog? Wait, no frogs? Oh, of course, there's no deck list. Like, I'm trying to look it up. There's no deck list. You need to build your own deck list. Holy shit, I really hope they're gonna come back. They're so rough. Paper events. Just crazy. Dajmy się tam to fulek za chwilę. Po streamie, co? Oj. Is there an official reason we have no deck lists? There is no official reason. All we have is this message in the Mono Discord. We understand everyone's frustration. Unfortunately, I do not have anything to update. Once more info is provided, I will send it out. So it's not a technical issue. For sure, it's something else which makes it awkward. Legacy challenge split. Yeah, 4 Froggers. Yeah. Could probably can't animate that. Like, is that card any good? Play more interaction of some sort. I don't know. Spellmaster's not good. Can animate your frog. Okay. Or if you just replace 4 animate dead with 4 him to Turak. Are you not better off? Probably not, but maybe you are. I think I'll play a little bit of Legacy for the Legacy Showcase Challenge Sunday, maybe. And then there's gonna be Legacy LCQs. So maybe I'll play them. There's what? 1 at noon. Just 1. No, there's one at 4 a.m. too. Well, not playing that, most likely. Then I'm playing the Modern Showcase Qualifier. The Pioneer Showcase Qualifier here. That stuff is crazy. Remember when the Legacy Scaminator list, they all played this one weird card for seemingly no reason. This. Every list had this. And nobody could really tell you why. They just copied from each other. I also played it. It was never did anything. Because you never actually have 8 permanents in your graveyard in my experience. That's really hard. Splashing Triumph Świętej Katarzyny. Yeah, I've seen that too. I've played against that even. Hello Canister MTG, just saw your tweet about Nadu. Do you think the meta can actually adjust to Nadu? It does feel like the PT meta was not particularly adjusted, but I don't think it can adjust in a way where Nadu is not going to be the best, most winning deck. So the answer is yes and no at the same time. Maybe we could split animate that with Tamio. Tamio sounds good, yeah. Okay, what if I cut 4 animate dead, 1 entomb, and I play 2 Tamio and 3 Bowmasters? Sounds good to me. Why 3 days though? Well, it's probably to return islands and make your opponent's spells countered, or unless they pay 1. Got 4 Ponder, bad card. Ponder is good, I think. Is good. So unfortunately Modo is entering a downtime soon. So I can't play the Pioneer Prelim. Thank you for the raid, Jendrek. What we could do is we could draft a deck. This is a scam deck without the Entomb Atraxa. Nethergoyf, Grief, Psychic Frog, 2 Animate Dead. Honestly, kind of love it, yeah. Kind of like the look of it. I would just want to play him to Turak too, but that's probably just a bad card. Challenge shop list with him, see? Yeah, you reanimate Deratrax, like Entomb is bad in the mirror, isn't it? Reanimate is not. Alright, we drafting. Pack one, pick one. I believe my choice is between Titan's Vanguard or Signature Slam. One is a gold card and an archetype specific card, and one is a great card, just in green. An insane combat removal spell slash trick. Which one do we prefer? I think it might be wiser to take Slam. But Vanguard goes really hard, so. Kind of close. Close, I think. Also a very red-green pack. Likely something will wheel. Not really an Eldrazi though. We're not passing any Eldrazi, we're passing the Slam, which someone is gonna take. Let's take this Slam. And now, not many cards go well with the Slam. Even less would go well with the Vanguard. I guess just the Hydra. Not passing any green. Besides that, what? Glasswing Grace, Emissary of Soulfire. Invert Polarity is probably a pretty decent sealed card if you win the flips, and pretty bad one if you lose them. I think those two together are better than any of those single cards, so let's take the Hydra. Best card is probably Polska Goblin. Interesting. Well, many distractions await, but we could commit and take the Dread Mask or Uzwag. Rush of Inspiration, a Miraculous Messenger. I mean, like, the distractions are not even that attractive. Would you prefer the Uzwag or the Dread Mask? I think Uzwag for being cheaper. Just stick to the green. Here we have another Miraculous Messenger, but we also have Evolution Witness, which I can take and keep cutting green. Also, Witness nice with Slam. Let's take the Witness. Here we have Fell the Profane, Revitalizing Repast. I think I'll take the Repast. It's a green card. It's not black. Fell the Profane is black. That is a pretty big departure. If I end up playing black-green counters, which I could, if I get the Oozes, then the Repast is gonna be great anyways, and it's gonna be mana fixing. And this pack is pretty dry. Could take Quest for the Necropolish, Wall Strike, Kami, Fetchland, which is pretty off color, Meddler, which is, I guess I could take a Meddler if I think it's the strongest card ever, but I don't think so. I think I'll just take the Full Strike. On color. Nothing is too attractive. Not that Full Strike is particularly good, but So what are the best cards? Cranial Ram, Insignificance, Skooma, Fetch. I guess I named half the pack. No idea what to take here. I think I'll go with Insignificance, but it's pretty... Score in case you get Chrysalis. That does make sense. This is a mana fixer. A 1/5 that fixes my mana. Let's take it in case. Unless we go with the green-white and they modify everybody. Okay. Let's try that. The card is pretty bad, but we could actually try to like build a deck for that. Take the combat trick now. Get a Jeskai fetch now. Modify. Themed. Hashtag Abzan. Pretty late for the card. Knight, which I probably won't play, and Leon Umbra in my modified deck. Holy shit, that's just perfect. Yeah, I don't know if I love my spot, but probably gonna take Horrifying Assault. There is also Area Auxiliary, which modifies, but Assault is just good. Should have taken Kozilek's Command, or rather should have taken Titan's Vanguard, then I would have Kozilek's Commando. But that ship has sailed. Let's go with the Assault. Here is a Chrysalis, but I think I will skip the Chrysalis. And we're gonna take Hydra Trainer for the theme deck building. Also looking to wield this and get Abzan Triumphs. Flare of Cultivation, Abzan Triumph, Witch Enchanter. This also fixes my mana. White was still cuttable. I would have taken Chrysalis. I know, but I had success building theme decks. Even though you might have heard on the internet that Chrysalis has 10,000% win rate. I'll take the Abzan Triumph. Can take under Hydra. Schwanked Flames again. It seems like taking the Vanguard would have turned out to be pretty successful. Would have had probably a better deck than what we ended up with. Let's take the Hydra. Holy shit, that's the Abzan card for my Abzan deck. It's not really on theme, but it's interesting. I mean, I think I'm looking more so into green-white, so I'll take the Winged. Picnic, you know. Okay, we can take the second trainer and then we're gonna go hard on the theme. We have 2 trainer, 2 Hydra, that's a plan, right? Holy shit, not a single non-Grixis card and 8 cards available. That is not good news. Kurwa, no nic tu nie ma przecież. Guess I'll take the transmogrant, but with the hope of not playing it. Not splashing for it. Not splashing for transmogrant. Even if I will end up splashing for undo not master. Hecipunia, hecipunia. Off your monster pack free. Well, I'll be happy to splash that, just not the... Just not happy to splash transmogrant. Here I'll take the Nyxborn Unicorn. This is like a breath your last, but I am embracing green-white. Need to carve out to play the game. Those are not in my deck, hopefully, and not master, maybe. White-black land for the not master splash. Not master ×2. Mob for my mono red deck, which I'm building on the side. Honestly, you probably could have drafted a mono red deck. Just in general. Pretty desperate for 2-drops. Or anything. The theme is strong, the theming is strong, we just need to... The rest, the filler. Alright, slam. Or appropriation. I probably will take slam, it's more on theme, I think. I have 2 colorless sources. Will need a lot of creatures, but it does make my creatures modified. That's all I want. This makes my creatures modified. The Lure is a powerful spell, especially if we're gonna be behind on board with few 2s. No, I'll get the 2s in the pack. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna get them soon. Probably not gonna be playing Leon Umbra. Maybe I will. Probably not looking to play 2 fall strikes. Fall strikes. These are the restless. Don't think we need to splash more stuff, although this is a red land technically. I'll just take the Ari Auxiliary. But hopefully a 2-drops is gonna be passed to me. I think it's impossible to get enough 2-drops now to be happy with that. Kurwa, no nic tu nie ma, ja pierdolę, żadnej dwójeczki. Dread masks, Baird, let's take more Baird with no 2-drops. I'm just gonna skip, play them. That's gonna be so good. Hydra is gonna be great on 2. Honestly, yeah. Okay, now the curve looks good. Thank you. 2-drop, sort of. Yeah, I think I'll pick it. Because there's no other option. Where is 2-drop? Where is creature even? I don't need any more spells. I don't want spells, I just want creature. Oh, here 2-drop, idiot, should have played red. Okay. I guess I'll play the Gargantua for the late game. Like, tricks don't make sense to pick anymore. Here 2-drop, but black. I'll take it. Maybe I am green-black actually. This would have been an okay Grudel deck. I agree with you fully. Green-white lands. You're a full-on 3 colors, I guess. I'll take the Droskla and I'll just accept that my mana. Green-white. Breath your last. Okay. Breath your last ... pick. Probably not playing Breath your last with black in the cost. Alright, even abs on mana base is good. 0 Watchdogs in the draft. It's kind of rough. Watchdogs would have been solid. It's 23, so I'll play them as spells, then I'll have more lands in my deck and my mana is gonna be not so bad. 0 kites. I mean, I think there was a kite. We just didn't see any at the point where we wanted to pick it, but there were kites in the draft. But 18 lands, even Abzan is my strat. Maybe even cut the Fall Strike number 2 and just play both as a spell. Those are a trick too. Fall Strike is on theme. Yeah. Even Abzan. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black, not bad. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9 white. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 green. Yeah, it's not too bad with those. Like, I'm not playing Leon Umbra uncastable. I think it's better to draw a land than a Fall Strike, and like those spells are just good, so I'd prefer not to play them as lands unless necessary. So I think the deck turned out not the worst ever. But just play Breath Your Last over Fall Strike even. Sure, but I think I would rather play land over Breath Your Last. Maybe I can play a Transmogrant in even mana base, honestly. Probably should. The upside is high. You have 2 Mogg mobs, you could have drafted mono red. Maybe I can Cali Plains and play the Transmogrants. 7, 16, 18 lands total. Transmogrant, like the upside side, if I draw Swamp, I just play it turn 1, something turn 2, then the Auxiliary actually has 2 targets. That's fucked up. Okay, actually, let's do it this way. Perfect. Even Abzon, let's go. That said, given that there is no Pioneer Prelim to play, I will be logging off right now. They have to make Assassin's Creed legal today, so unfortunately the Pioneer Prelim is a victim of that. I'll be back tomorrow to 04 with Nadu yet again, perhaps. Take care and stay hydrated.